What's up, LEGO fans, and welcome back to the channel. Pete's Bricks, the LEGO channel for the LEGO fan. In today's video, we're going to be discussing how LEGO Star Wars is currently in their Clone and Republic era when it comes to their LEGO sets. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but for the past 5 years, LEGO has been consistently releasing some really good LEGO Star Wars sets centered on vehicles from the Republic and, of course, one of my favorite things in all of Star Wars, clone troopers. We've gotten blue ones, red ones, even purple ones, which aren't technically canon. The insane price increase of LEGO Star Wars sets aside, I think LEGO has been on a winning streak when it comes to their LEGO clone trooper centered sets. In this video, we're going to be looking back at the past 5 years of LEGO Star Wars clone troopers and the sets that they've come in. So let's get started and let's go back to the year 2020. This right here is a standard 501st Legion Trooper. This is the figure that would be the base of all clone troopers to come. Features a brand new helmet with that design that I think looks pretty cool. With the gray cheeks, it gives it some definition. And it features some pretty nice torso, leg, and foot printing. And it doesn't look too bad from the back either. While like a lot of LEGO fans, I was pretty happy to be finally getting a 501st Battle Pack, I was kind of disappointed in the price. Money. Seeing as all the other battle packs were cheaper than $35, which is what this set retailed for. You know, back in my day, when I first started collecting LEGO Star Wars battle packs were $10. They then rose to like $12 or $13, $15, $20 was kind of insane, and now they've gone up to $35. Though I will say the battle packs of today are a lot bigger than the battle packs of yesteryear. As you can see, this $35 501st battle pack included 4 501st Legion clone troopers, 3 of them being your standard clone trooper, and the 4th being the Jet Trooper, which was a very welcome addition. You know, he wasn't just a plain gray officer with a pistol. That would have been pretty boring, but we did get that really cool Jet Trooper. This set was based off of Season 7. We did get bigger vehicles than we were used to seeing in the cheaper battle packs, like the 501st Color Scheme Speeder Bike and the what is this? ATRT? Is this an ATRT? This is not the first time we've gotten one. We got one in that Clone Wars set with Yoda from many years ago, and now we finally have an updated one here with this new 501st Battle Pack. I currently have both pieces of this battle pack on hand, easy to find. I am missing the antenna on this. It fell off at some point somewhere. That probably want to find those at some point, but yeah, the ATRT is pretty cool. Well, it is extremely oversized for the figure, right? If you look up episodes of the Clone Wars, for example, the clone trooper, like his entire body sits on here, and his leg goes around the side and rests right here. So yes, it is extremely oversized. I do think it's cool, right? It's a cool toy, and overall I like the way it looks. I like the use of stickers. You have 501st written on the side there, and just some different stickers. The stud shooter I don't mind in this set. It's very movable, very aimable, posable. Yeah, really like this this walker. I've seen mocks where people buy the set and they just rebuild this into a smaller one, which you can do if you buy the set. It's LEGO. LEGO allows you, if you don't like the toy, if you don't like the product, you could just rebuild it, which again, something I really like about LEGO. But straight out of the box, this is pretty oversized. I think the same can be said for the speeder. It is clearly oversized, but it looks very, very good. Like, it looks exactly like what it's supposed to be representing. All of the angles, the shapes, everything looks really great. Again, I do not mind those stud shooters on the front. You can take them off if you want to. I think it's a pretty good vehicle. I will say, if LEGO chose to make these vehicles smaller, I would definitely have no problem with that, as it would have reduced the price. As I mentioned, we also got the Jet Trooper. Very cool design. I like the red highlights. Blue arms, though you must note that the torso print and the leg print is almost the same as the other clones, right? It has different markings, but what I really like about this figure and other figures I'm going to show you is the standardization across all the clones, which means unlike different clones from different years of LEGO in the past, all these Clone Trooper minifigures are going to look great together as you build your LEGO clone army. That same year, we got the Armored Assault Tank, or the ATT, also based off of Clone Wars Season 7. We got Ahsoka, we got some droids, we got a tank, but the best figure in this set by far, in my opinion, is the Clone Trooper. This right here is the 501st Trooper, but with a different helmet, as he is part of Ahsoka's Legion, as seen in the finale of Star Wars: The Clone Wars Season 7. As much as I like clones, and as much as I like this clone in particular, I mean, orange is my favorite color, and he looks absolutely awesome with that Ahsoka-themed helmet. I only have one of these figures, as the set was $40, and no way could I justify buying that set multiple times just to build an army of these troops where you only got one per set. Still, that did not stop a lot of different LEGO YouTubers from going crazy and buying out all these sets that they could find to build their armies. It would take LEGO another 2 whole years until they would release a battle pack featuring these clones to make army building a lot more accessible, but for those who had the money, they were perfectly fine buying multiple copies of this $40 set. The only set on this list that I don't currently have is the last General Grievous' Starfighter, which randomly included one airborne clone trooper. I really like the airborne troopers. I like the helmet. I have a few older ones from the old battle pack that was, like $15 or less. This one is slightly different. Updated print, updated everything. One interesting thing about this airborne trooper besides the unique helmet is that he is the only, the last modern LEGO clone trooper to come with a skirt or comma piece, right? He has that cloth skirt. None of the other clones that we're covering from this point forward will have one. Instead, like this Captain Rex that you can see here, he's supposed to have a comma, but it's like printed. As you can see, it's like printed there, right? Those black lines, that's supposed to be the cloth comma. For some reason, LEGO just stopped including those in sets. I say for some reason, but it's probably budget, which is, one of the things I'm not too happy about with the new clones. It doesn't bother me too much. I still like these clones. I still think, especially this new Captain Rex that we'll take a look at in a bit looks fantastic. But I am pretty surprised that this airborne trooper is the last clone to include that cloth comma. So it looked like clone troopers were finally coming back in full swing in the year 2020, right? We got those 501st troopers, we got the 501st troopers with the Ahsoka helmet from the Clone Wars. As a Clone Wars super fan, I was super excited to have these figures, and I was even more excited to see what would come next. Next year in the UCS gunship, we got this Phase 1 clone trooper, which to me seemed kind of random, though the gunship was based off of Episode 2, and of course in Episode 2, all the clone troopers are Phase 1 rather than Phase 2. The UCS gunship would be one of 2 sets to include Phase 1 clone troopers, as all of the other sets that we're going to look at in this video have Phase 2 clone troopers. While I think myself and many Clone Wars fans prefer the Phase 2 clone trooper in contrast to the Phase 1, I do think the Phase 1 are pretty cool, and I kind of wish they would make some more, maybe in some Episode 2 sets. We'll just have to wait and see. Of course, how can I talk about the yellow clone commander and not the controversy that surrounded this minifigure? So basically, this figure did appear in Episode 2, the Clone Commander. I think it is a great minifigure. I like the standardized print. I like the helmet. I like the colors. It's a cool figure, and I'm happy to have it in my collection. Though there was a whole controversy about how the LEGO designer mentioned that, this could work for a clone pilot in the gunship set, which made absolutely no sense. This is not a clone pilot, guys.
Only the best is good enough.
Though I hear there is a rumor to remedy the situation in the year of 2025. The rumor is that they are making a brand new Phase 1 clone trooper pilot with no fin on the top of the helmet. So if you look carefully, you can see the Phase 1 clone has a fin, but even in the past, other clone pilots that they've made have reused the same helmet, which isn't exactly accurate. I will mention that this specific Clone Trooper Commander I got in the battle pack that will be released the next year, which is another controversy. You know, I didn't buy the UCS gunship because it was pretty big, and I'm more of a fan of minifigure scale vehicles anyway. So the controversy was that this figure was repeated in the smaller battle pack. Personally, I don't mind. You know, the Mace Windu is still exclusive to the large gunship. That's pretty much all the controversy was. People who buy the big sets like to have exclusive figures just so that they can feel better because they spent a lot of money on the big set. And I sympathize with that for sure, right? If you're spending $200-300 on a set, you want to have something special, right? You kind of want the money you spent to matter or mean something when it comes to minifigures. Though for me, you know, I don't buy every expensive set, so I'm always happy when figures from big, expensive, inaccessible sets come out in smaller sets that everybody can buy and just help build their clone armies and really just enjoy some great Clone Trooper minifigures. The Clone Commander was the only more generic, non-named clone that came out that year, and we also had one more set. This is a set that if you're a Clone Wars fan, if you're a Bad Batch fan, if you are a Clone Trooper fan, I highly recommend going out, buying it no matter how much it costs right now on the aftermarket, and adding it to your collection. First of all, you get the Bad Batch shuttle, which is unique, right? There's only one of these in the universe of Star Wars. It's the Bad Batch's secret shuttle. The wings look really cool. This is a set where I really like the look of it. It's very unique. It's that bluish gray, which is a color that I really like in Lego. You got the two wings, two guns right here. What it can do is you open the top, you got room for two troopers. I think there's a crate in there. You got room for two pilots in the front. You simply close that up. It is a little small, you know, it's not very spacious because in the show, The Bad Batch, we really see the interior of the ship. I like the exhaust on the back, little guns on the back. Yeah, I think this is a pretty solid vehicle. Not for me, the highlight of the set is going to be the Bad Batch minifigures themselves. In this set, we get Tech, Wrecker, Echo, Hunter, and Crosshair. All of these minifigures besides Hunter would remain exclusive to the Bad Batch shuttle. Each figure features exclusive and unique face prints that, like I said, would not be reproduced in any other sets. So if you're a fan of clones and the Clone Wars, I highly recommend getting the Bad Batch shuttle. I could not stress this enough. So in 2020, we got 3 sets that featured clones. Move forward, 2021, we got 2 sets that featured clones. The next year, in 2022, we got a grand total of 4 sets that featured brand new clones. Because we're also talking about Republic vehicles, let me show you one of my favorite recent ones. This is the AT-TE Walker. I never really had a plain AT-TE Walker. I do have Captain Rex's Walker from Star Wars Rebels, but that version is supposed to be like it's old, it's beat up, he made modifications, repairs, one of the legs is a different color, right? So it's not supposed to be a plain one, but I do like the plain ones because this is ripped right out of the Clone Wars. This is a great vehicle, you know, it's a land vehicle, so it has 6 legs and it walks because it's a walker. You got a rotating cannon up top, you got 4 cannons in the front, you have a removable pilot seat, right? You stick the pilot in there, then stick this whole thing in the front, which I think is very cool, instead of just lifting up the top as a typical Lego set would. I like the turret on top. It has a lot of room inside for play. It has, you can store 6 troopers inside of this vehicle. Simply lift up the top. You can then splay these sections out for easy access. And as you can see, you can fit 2 troopers right there on those tan plates. Close it up, just like so. Flip it around to the back. You have 2 more turbo lasers on the back. Really cool. You can then open the top up, pull this down, open the sides out completely, and you have this whole area here to fit 5 minifigures, not 4, 5. So 5 6, 7, 8 in the front. Yeah, 8 clone troopers. I will say that, again, the minifigures are what really made me want to get this set. In the set, we got 3 of these 212th Legion clone troopers with that really striking orange against the white. But of course, for the first time ever, we got the commander of the 212th Legion. That is, for the first time ever, Phase 2 Commander Cody. This minifigure was such a long time coming, as pretty much the only clone commander in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, who had any lines. I was always so surprised that we'd never gotten a Phase 2 minifigure of Commander Cody until this set. I know he does have these solid orange arms, right? He doesn't have arm printing to depict the armor. But yeah, to say that I'm happy with this figure is an understatement. I think this is so cool. The orange visor that they recolored in orange just for this release. The printing on the front, the back. Commander Cody, 10 out of 10 figure. 2022 would be the same year that we got the Clone Trooper Command Station, which I've misplaced somewhere, but I do have it. Like I said, that is where I got the yellow Clone Trooper Commander, and where we finally got some plain white Phase 1 Clone Troopers. Note that there's no difference between the torso and legs of the Phase 1 and Phase 2 Clone Troopers. The only difference is the helmet. Again, I like the Phase 1 Troopers, but after this Clone Trooper Command Station, we would not get any more Phase 1 Troopers, and instead LEGO would shift their focus to only making Phase 2 Troopers. Another one of my favorite sets is the Republic Fighter Tank, which I happen to not be able to find. I know it's in a box, I know it's somewhere, probably in my closet, but when I make a future video showing you all the Republic vehicles together, I'm definitely going to find that wherever it is. But in that set, we did get some purple clone troopers. So first of all, we have more of a standard purple clone trooper design. It takes some inspiration from shock troopers by adding those lines above the helmet in blue. It has an extra like shoulder strap in black. Very, very cool and very unique. Besides the 2 standard purple clones, we have the Airborne, which is very cool with the purple. For some reason, the top of its head looks a little white. I kind of feel like he needs another line up there or something, but I like the purple, I like the gun. This will be the last time I'm going to mention the absence of the cloth camo. As you can see, this is the first clone to have it printed rather than include the cloth. He just has those 2 dark tan lines on the side, which are meant to represent his camo. Yeah, it's a stylistic decision though. You know, why did they include the Airborne Trooper from just 2 years ago with the cloth, and now they've decided to move forward without it? Like I said, it's money, but very cool Clone Trooper figure. And that leads us to what? Oh, 2 more sets for 2022. I forgot to mention the Clone Gunner included in the ATTE, just another variation of the basic white Clone Trooper. Another set we got this year was the Justifier, the second and last set to be based off of the Bad Batch, which included another figure of Hunter, which is actually the same exact one from the Bad Batch shuttle. I'm just showing you this one with his hair in his face as opposed to the helmet. We also got Omega, who isn't exactly a clone trooper, but I would count her as a clone. You got her in the set. Very cool. This is the only figure of Omega we've ever gotten. Again, we'll probably ever get this Omega figure. Very cool, unique hair. So that's 2022. So far, we got tons of great clones, and we will be continuing that trend into 2023. Though I will say, there are some highlights, and there are some lowlights, is that the word? Some very questionable decisions when it comes to LEGO's clone design team. First, let's start off with the positive with Ahsoka's 332nd Clone Trooper Battle Pack. Unlike the 501st Battle Pack, this is a smaller pack that includes 4 different Clone Trooper minifigures. We finally got some of these Ahsoka Troopers that you can buy 4 at a time, so you can really mass up an army instead of having to spend an arm and a leg to mass up an army. You get 2 standard clones with jetpacks, 1 standard clone with a slightly longer rifle, and Captain Vaughn, who does feature a unique torso and an orange visor. One thing I forgot to mention is that the clone troopers now have an extra hole in their helmets. Starting with the ATTE, you can see this orange clone right here has the hole in the side of his helmet. This allows visors and other attachments to be attached to the helmets of the clones. One interesting thing is that the purple clones that came out in the tank still use the older helmet with no hole. We had another controversy with the helmet holes, with some LEGO fans saying that the clone trooper helmets didn't look any good and that LEGO ruined them. I personally think that it's fine. The helmets look fine from the side, and I welcome, new attachments, new visor things so that you can really customize your clone troopers. Also, the printing was exactly the same. So looking at these troopers just like this, can you tell me which one has the hole in the side and which doesn't? 3, 2, 1. Just like that. This has the hole, this doesn't. But, to be honest, I really don't think it's that big of a deal. And this is the little swamp speeder that you get in the set. You can put 2 figures, store their guns on the side. It's a fine 501st vehicle, although I don't remember seeing this in any episodes of the Clone Wars. Let me know in the comments what exactly this is from. I think this is one of those sets that, the vehicle exists in Star Wars, the swamp speeder, as seen in episode 3. But I do think this is one of those sets that LEGO just decided to give their own creative spin and give it a 501st paint scheme so that it would go with your 501st figures. We also got another $20 battle pack in the form of the 501st Troopers Battle Pack. Unlike the previous one, which focused on generic 501st Troopers and 1 Jet Trooper, in this one we got 4 different special and unique clones. We got 2 Heavy Troopers, which feature blue visors this time, and those blue lines up top are very reminiscent of Commander Cody. They got straps, they got backpacks, they got big guns. Very cool. We got the Specialist that not only features unique arms, but that unique yellow print on his upper left or right chest. He also comes with these very cool binocular pieces that lower over his helmet. You got 2 of them in the set, so you got 1 for the figure and 1 extra. I think this is a fantastic and unexpected piece. It looks great. Plus, you can put it on all of your Clone Trooper minifigures who have holes in the side of the helmet. Another reason why I am in favor of the helmet holes. And finally, you got a 501st Clone Commander. He has the blue antenna, blue belt, and Kama along with dual pistols. As far as I can tell, the Heavy Troopers are based off of Star Wars Battlefront. The Specialist and the Commander, I'm really not sure what they're based off of, but they're cool and a welcome addition to my clone army. One thing I've noticed about battle packs is that they either scale things up, like the walkers or the speeders, or they scale things extremely down, like this turret, which had previously come out in a Clone Wars base set. It was pretty massive. I actually have that somewhere in my collection, but you do get a turret, which again, it's extremely scaled down, but for play and for display, I think it looks pretty good. Finally, the last set of the year is the Coruscant Guard gunship. A lot of people didn't like this set. It cost $140, kind of steep for the size. Personally, I like the vehicle. The figures I have a slight problem with, but let's be positive first. I really like this vehicle. I like that LEGO didn't go with the classic Episode 2 Republic gunship design. For me specifically, I like when LEGO tries something different, as they have done a regular looking Republic gunship minifigure scale set in 2012 or 13. I know it's been a long time and a lot of people didn't get that set. I do have that set. So for me, I'm happy with getting something different for the collection instead of the same thing. Though I do understand people who were very disappointed when they found out we were getting this Clone Wars version of the gunship, which appeared only in a handful, not even handfuls 5, maybe 2 or 3 episodes of the Clone Wars. We got this set, but I really like the colors. I love the dark red. I like how in this version of the gunship, you can close the doors all the way, right? In the other gunships, they were left kind of open, but here you can just completely close it, just like so. I like the symbols on the side. These were stickers, but you know, it's still cool. I enjoy stickers. Controversial opinion. I think this is a great set. The minifigures. Now, minifigures are what I have a slight issue with. You get two shock troopers who look 10 out of 10. These are great. Similar printing to the purple clones with those lines above its head, above the brow. You got those red lines. I love these guys. These are great. Great shock troopers, as the last shock troopers we got were Clone Wars style. Now we finally got some movie accurate shock troopers. But for me, the problem is with the Phase 2 Commander Fox. So I want you guys to take a nice, long, hard look at this Fox. So I'm, like I said, not complaining about the printed skirt instead of the cloth one. You know, that's what they chose to go with. I think the helmet looks great. You know, gray for the visor is accurate, actually. He has two pistols. There is the back, which is mostly red with just a little print. Let me know in the comments. Do you see what's wrong with this? Put your answer down below in 3, 2, 1. Let's compare it. Let's compare it real quick. If you still don't see the glaring error with this figure, look at these. See anything? It's the chest. This is white. This is not supposed to be pink. It's supposed to be white. As a big Clone Trooper fan, I have waited years for LEGO to make a Phase 2 Commander Fox, and they got about how much percent of the figure? The helmet's good, the legs are good, the torso's absolutely messed up. The torso, it's pretty inexcusable. They printed white on top of red, which turned it pink. I really do think they could have done a better job. And for such an expensive set, you know, LEGO is always supposedly so great. They make billions of dollars, and
only the best is good enough.
They absolutely massacred my boy. They massacred Phase 2 Fox. Also, the chest is just incorrect. So right here, you can see there is the breastplate like at the top, and then there's that plate in between. They're both white or pink, you know. This in between was supposed to be red. But still, I was happy to add, you know, the red clone troopers, the shock troopers, to our growing assortment of clones. So far, what we got: blue, we got orange, we got purple, we got red. 4 different colors, and we're going to continue with that trend into last year, 2024, which continued with more and more clone troopers. First up, we have a set from The Mandalorian, which actually included a cool Republic speeder and some clone troopers. Right here are the new 501st clones. The only difference is that these have the holes on the sides of the helmet as opposed to no holes. I think this is an improvement. I like the ability, again, you can add antenna, you can add visors, you can add binoculars to these clone troopers, right? Go ahead, have fun and add accessories. So we got 2 more 501st troopers. Even if you don't like the ones with the holes, even if you really invested in that first 501st battle pack, you can still add these to your army, and yeah, very great addition to my collection. As for the speeder, you get this cool Republic speeder with the side thing for Baby Yoda / Grogu, but if you do choose, you can remove this from the side and just have a cool speeder for your clones. It is a slightly different speeder than the Republic 501st speeder, but they are scaled pretty similarly. Another set we got was boarding the Tantive 4, which is a scene from episode 4, which includes ARC Trooper 5s of all people. You might be wondering, why did they include a Clone Wars clone trooper in a episode 4 set? That's because ARC Trooper 5 is the 25th anniversary figure that they included in this set from last year. Very cool figure, arm printing, leg printing. Of course, who else is better to go with ARC Trooper 5s than the captain himself, Captain Rex, my favorite and many fans' favorite clone trooper in all of Star Wars. This figure actually first came out in the UCS Venator, but the next year they released him in the Rex's Y-Wing Microfighter, which, you know, the rumor was that we were going to get a full minifigure scale Republic 501st Y-Wing, but instead we got a Microfighter. For some reason, this is kind of a trend that's been going now, right? We were rumored to get the Plo Koon's Jedi Starfighter set this year, 2025, but it seems that instead we're going to be getting a Microfighter. So whenever leaks start coming about a set, you just got to think it could be a Microfighter. And while I would have liked a bigger ship, I'm happy we got a cheap $12 little Microfighter. You know, it's a cool little set. But yeah, this is what you buy the set for. Yeah, probably my favorite modern clone by far, Captain Rex. Super cool. No cloth cama, but he has the cloth shoulder pauldron, which, you know, if we're not getting the bottom part, at least we got the top. That brings me to my favorite LEGO Star Wars set that is clone based of all of them. It is the LEGO Star Wars Clone Trooper and Droid Battle Pack. Retailing for $30, you got some stuff for the droids, right? You got one of those three-legged droid things, you got some B1 battle droids, some B2s, but I'm not focused on that. I'm focused on the clones. First of all, for the clones, we got a small speeder and a little gun turret. These are not explicitly based off of anything in Star Wars. You know, it's definitely not the typical speeder design. It is a lot smaller. It features these things in the front that are very reminiscent of the speeder bikes from episode 6 of all things. However, what's cool about these is that they're basically remakes of the classic 2007, I want to guess, 2007 Clone Battle Pack, which I actually have, which is actually one of my first LEGO Star Wars sets ever. So that alone is very cool to be getting these, but let's put these aside. First of all, you get another shock trooper, which I think is cool because if you have the Coruscant Guard Republic gunship and you buy a bunch of these battle packs, you're gonna have even more shock troopers to add to that ship and to your shock trooper army. But what really interests me is the plain white Phase 2 clone troopers. I think these guys are just the coolest. To me, they're the most massable. They're the most just iconic clone trooper. You know, I think it's insane that it took us, what? These started in 2020. This set came out in 2024. 4 years to get to the plain white clone trooper. My guess is that LEGO doesn't think it's as exciting as one with some color, like blue, red, green, orange, for example. But personally, as I said, these are the most massable in my opinion, and I think having an army of these would just look absolutely awesome. I like this battle pack so much that I actually bought 3 copies of the set. So I have 3 more shock troopers to add to my gunship, and I have a total of 9 white clones. I think they're just super cool, super fun to have. This set should still be available now, so do not miss out on it if you haven't purchased 1, 2, or even 3 copies of this great Star Wars battle pack. And finally, this brings us to 2025. If you're still watching this video, make sure to hit subscribe, because if you're still watching me for this long, you must like my channel, right? So go ahead, hit subscribe. I'm almost to 1,000 subscribers, which has been my goal for several years, ever since I started posting to the channel. But moving into 2025, there are a lot of rumored LEGO sets. So as I was talking about all of the different colors, we got the blue, the red, the purple, we're getting yellow. We are finally getting our first ever LEGO Star Wars Phase 2 Commander block. Super excited for the yellow clones to add to our collection of clone troopers. There is one set that did come out earlier this year that I just got and just added to my collection. This is the ARC 170 Starfighter. The ARC 170 retailed for $70. It has these wings that open just like that. There are a few things I don't like about the set, like the opacity of the stickers, right? It's advertised as being white, but that's clearly gray. Like, this is supposed to be white as this. It showed white on the box. Kind of annoying. But overall, I like this set. You get 3 different clone pilots. You get a regular clone pilot, you get clone pilot oddball, and Captain Jag. They all feature unique helmet printing, a unique face with the orange visor printed right on the helmet, right on the head that goes with the helmet. Very, very cool. Well, that is every Star Wars set that has included a Republic vehicle or a clone trooper in the past 5 years. Stay tuned. I'm going to be making a video showing you all of the sets together. This was just kind of a video with images and me holding some sets just to give you guys an idea of all the different Clone Wars sets that have been coming out. I am still excited for the new 2025 sets and many more to come. Thanks for watching. God bless. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys in the next video on my channel, Pete's Bricks.